From the oil spaces of Rescue Marriage and Relationship Initiative, I welcome you to the discussion. I want to talk about variations in traditional rites as far as marriage is concerned. If you look at it holistically, a whole Nigerian thing, you'll find out that from the major tribes of Nigeria, the variations are there. So what you find being done even in the political zones are not the same. What you find done in particular states are not the same. They will tell you this is the right for this is the right for the other one. And the study I made has come to reveal that these variations is not because the customs as instituted by our foreparents are there with such variations, but demands that individuals are making from those who have come to marry their sisters, their daughters, have brought about the variations. If I tell you specifically what it takes to marry in my own place, you'll be surprised. And in my own personal experience, I got married to my beautiful wife, who is from my state, but not from my local government area. And sometimes even within a local government area, the towns within the local government area will give different rights. Excuse me. And so these variations are because there are different persons who are involved in the discussion of the rights and in making demands for the traditional rights of their daughters. And so I would like to talk, particularly not paying attention to any tribe, any state, any local government, or any section. I would like to, partition my discussion into three places in line with those who are involved in these demands. I want to let you know there is nothing like custom as it comes to the rights in marriage. The custom of a people as it is their way of life, the way they do their things. And so before they start doing those things that same way, there are reasons. There are reasons why they started it that way. And they keep transferring this custom to generations into generations with adds and minuses, and it keep coming up. And so what they considered marriage rights in my village some 30 years ago is not what they are doing now. What was done when my mother was married is not what they are doing now. And what they are going to do next year will be different from what they experienced this year. And so it has come to a point where we caution ourselves. Those who are already married, you are in this discussion. Those who are still preparing for marriage, you are in this discussion. And those who are there in the village, just because they want to, hold on to what they call their rights, their custom, their tradition, you are in this discussion. So that we look at the effect of these demands on the institution of marriage. If you had seen my former videos where I discuss the different types of marriages as it applies in Nigeria, I mentioned that there are three types of marriages. One is the traditional right. The second one is the church or mosque, as the case applies, that's the religious right. Then the next one is as it concerns the law of this federation. And so these three are what you consider you are expected to do when you are into marriage. There are ways anyway that you try to reduce cost of doing these things by merging some. Some are done the same day. For instance, in the southeast, you will see people who in the morning will go to church for church marriages, and they come back after the church marriages to do the traditional rites. but there is a part there that I would like to let you know. The rites that are done in that same way are not in entirety the traditional rites of the community. A lot of such rites would have been done before the very day of the wedding and the reception. But the fact remains that there are three main ways that people get married in Nigeria. Can somebody decide to take one out of the three? Yes. Can you do the three? Yes. Is it required of you that you must do the three? No. It's a choice. I believe that we have come to a point in our civilized life where everything is negotiable except death. Everything is negotiable. And so if you are going into traditional rites with the understanding that yes, you have it, you can do it, and they are telling you things that you know you don't have, that you must need to borrow in order to fulfill, and you say, yes, I love her, I will do all that, you are not doing it with open mind. You are not doing it with the excitement that follows traditional rites. And so because of that, you will need to listen very carefully to this message. And if you have not married, go with the information you are getting from this marriage to your discussions and have a feeling and a belief that it is negotiable, and the best you can get is the one you negotiated with an open mind. So traditional right, don't be in a hurry in the first place to rush into the home of your bride to be and start showing them affluence. Start making them understand that you are capable of doing everything that they're asking you to do. No, it's a wrong idea. Remember, marriage ceremony is one day, but marriage itself is a lifetime. And if you spend everything you have on day number one getting into marriage, what will sustain you in the rest of your days in that marriage? There is a need that you use wisdom. So whatever list that they are giving to you, please negotiate. Tell them the ones you can do. Tell them the ones you cannot do. At most, they will look at you as a pauper. Yes, paupers get married after all. They will look at you as a poor man. Yes, and so what? Poor men have wives. And so you won't be the first. But if your future is important to you, you should take a position of letting them know what you can do and what you cannot do. And so every list is negotiable. Somebody wrote the list. I can give an instance of what I experienced in my own family when one of my cousins was given a list. And when I came back into their discussion, I asked for the list and they gave it to me. I told them, the young man I know whom you people are expecting to come and marry your daughter cannot afford these things. They started protesting. I made a contribution on behalf of the man, because the joy should be that you have an in-law, you have somebody who is coming to take what you have in order to build her up for the benefit of the family. Any of your sisters that you honored while she was being married, we never forget the family. But if yours is let them bring, and they will go and bring in order to fulfill your desire, my brother, my sister, it might be an end that you have already started in a relationship even before it started. So as a young man, don't be intimidated by the requests that they are making. It's unfortunate that out there in the society, you see a lot of people, so many people, men and women, young and old, who are desiring to get married, but they can't because the demands for getting married are very, very far above their means and their earnings. We will look at how this affects the society. And so I'm just talking about the groom. You, the bride, be careful. Be careful. Try first of all to understand what your husband to be will be capable of. There is no competition. Honestly, there is no competition in traditional rites. If your mind is there that you want to meet up with this person's own, it can never be the same. These are events that happen different days with different persons in different places. They can never be the same. And if you want to set standards, let me let you know that Diana and President King Charles set standard in London. But what happens to the marriage? Setting standard is not it. Making your own to be the envy of the society is rubbish. That's old school thoughts. The most important thing is that you are going into the marriage with a beautiful understanding of husband and wife who know themselves, who understood themselves, who are going into this relationship with an intention of making it a lifetime thing. That should be your thought. Like I mentioned before, there is nothing that will be done during your traditional rite that can never be done again. And at most, you are trying to borrow the things that have been done of the past. So why stretch what is not stretchable? You have a plastic and you want to draw it as if it is rubber. Why? So for you, whose daughter and sister will be married, I want to appeal to you. Please, there are the ones you will take and there are the ones you will let go. You can't have all things. And for the sake of that, your sister or daughter, let the sleeping dogs lie. Don't go to get everything. You can't have it all. And no matter how hard you try, when you know you are stretching that man beyond limits, you are the one who will pay for it one way or the other. A lot of us, we rely on the defense for our kinsmen. This is a general thing. It's kinsmen thing. Guy, it's not kinsmen thing. It is your daughter. It is your sister that they are coming to marry, not kinsman's daughter or kinsman's sister. We believe in Africa. We strongly believe in communal life. The worst that will happen in that case is that they say, okay, we ask this of that family, we ask that of the other family, they provided, and at your own instance, you are showing them that you know something. Accept it. Yes, you know something. Don't allow them to intimidate you. It is the future of your daughter and your sister that you're building, not the future of your communal members. Let them see you as that stingy man that wouldn't want them to exploit their son-in-law. Good, but please don't allow it. And if there are things that you know that tradition allows, but the man cannot afford because he has said, this is my limit, provide them. Provide them. The celebration is for all of you, not necessarily for him. I want to let you know that if you treat a young man in all fairness, and this man is happy coming to your house to take your daughter, to take your sister, to become his wife, you are in for a great surprise. I have seen a man who took a woman. At the time, it was very difficult for him, and he was fortunate. Traveled abroad, came back, and he was blessed. He went to the in-laws' place and told them, now I am ready to spoil you people. Make your requests. And everything they said, the man did 3 times without any kind of disagreement. These are things that people will expect. But our lives are not made the same. And so for those who, by virtue of not being ready financially at that point, let us not deprive them of the livelihood of being married. I also want to appeal to friends and relations. Ah, traditional marriage rites, beautiful celebrations. Must you be there when it is happening? The answer is no. Let us learn to reduce the burden that will be on the person who is getting married. I'm paying particular attention now to my Eastern brothers and sisters, because from other clans, for the much I know, they don't put the burden of traditional rites on one person. In some areas, they are shared. Even the persons who are coming to their homes bring part of what they are going to eat. But in this other part, it's not shared. Everything comes from one person. Food, drink, water, everything comes from one person. And how will you expect that same person to bring all this and still be at par in whichever business or work that he's doing? Marriage is a one-day thing. The celebration itself is a one-day thing. But the act itself is a lifetime thing. And so, what does this difficulty that we bring into marital rights, what does it cost on us? The man, out of excitement, will even go ahead and borrow to make sure that everything that is demanded of him is done. But after borrowing, what next? He goes back to wherever he is, business or work, and for the rest of the time that it will take him to pay what he had borrowed for that marriage to hold, your daughter, your sister will be the one that will bear the blunt. Yes, because of course Oyibo will say that those who go are borrowing also go are sorrowing. And so you don't find joy and happiness of a new life in that same man. He will struggle through time to pay for what he has borrowed in order to do traditional rites, which shouldn't have been the case. People like him who did the same ceremony that he did but didn't go through the stress that he went through go into a new life with joy and happiness. The other part is that for as long as he lived, he will be reminding himself of the shame and agony that he was made to go through while he came to your place to marry your daughter or your sister. And so each day he remembered that ceremony, that celebration, he will remember each and every one of you and to what extent you treated him in fairness or the other way. And so for you to desire a good future for your daughter and your sister, treat the groom very, very well the day he will come to talk about the traditional rites of how to marry. So I appeal to everyone, especially my brothers of the Eastern origin, to please go to your traditional rulers. I am sure that even your traditional ruler went through rites that he's not too excited about. Go to your traditional rulers. Find a way of adjusting these needs. Don't even put it optional. Because by the time you do it optional, okay, if it's 1 million naira, if you know you can afford 2.5 million, please come with it. No, don't put it optional. Make it as minimal as possible. The joy of marriage when spendings are very minimal are to the growth and the benefit of those who are coming into the marriage. And so when you make the starting of their life minimal and joyful, they will build up on that special gift of love and acceptance that you give to them when they are starting their lives. And so for every community, please do the adjustments. And for every man and woman who have daughters in their homes, start the consultation now. Let your family members and extended family members know that this is your stand on this. No man comes to my home to marry my daughters and they will leave my home in sorrow. It's a decision that I personally have taken. I know of clans where when ladies like that want to get married, it's the family members who do the expenses and the running around. It's just for the groom to come and the rite is done and they will go. And such grooms don't misbehave. They don't insult the ladies that they are married to, because it doesn't really take them an arm and a leg for them to be able to do the necessary rites. I appeal to anyone who, by the virtue of what you have been made to go through during the time that you are coming for your traditional rites, to please find a space in your heart to forgive. Find a space in your heart to forgive. Because forgiveness, as long as that incident is concerned, is paramount for the future of your marriage. Forgiveness is important. Your bride may have said or done one or two things that resulted to demands from you that you felt are not necessary. Forgive. Your mother-in-law may have said or done one or two things. Don't wait for her to come for mugo and you pay her back. Your father-in-law may have offended you because of his insistence for the needs of the umunna. Don't hold it against him. Your brothers-in-laws and so on, don't hold any crime committed against you on the day of your traditional rite against anyone if you want that marriage to progress. Love your wife extensively, irrespective of what you went through to have her. She's not an object, she's a person, and a person that God has assigned to you to love as much as you have loved yourself. Let communities, friends, relations learn that traditional rites are not pegged. There is nowhere they are pegged. They are negotiable. And the best you can do is to let your son-in-law have the best of the negotiations so that life between him and your daughter will be easier. God bless you. Thank you.